Hey everybody, it's Talking Action for Your Biz, and today we are talking about COVID and increasing your bottom line. How do those two even go together, right? But I want you to consider this. Think about this. So everybody was used to referrals. Everybody was used to the normal way of doing business. Well, guess what? We're in a time of reset. And this is what you got to think about. And I've said it to all my customers, man. I don't know about you, but right now it's just like starting your business from scratch. And the biggest thing people got to do business with you, now go along with my analogy here. Let's say you have your most favorite burger place in the world. You go there and get this fat, juicy, I don't care if it's a vegetable burger or some serious cow, okay? But you just love this place, and they finally reopen, and you walk in there, and they're a little disorganized, a little disheveled. The burger's still really good, but you're like, I don't know, you're thinking a little bit different. So then you're thinking about your second burger place. You go to your second burger place, everything is spot on. Yeah, it's still your second burger place, but everybody had masks on. Everybody was distanced. They were cleaning everything. You saw everything happening. They built up a level of trust with you. And I think that's what business is boiling down today. It's not that you don't love your first burger place, but you don't trust them. You love the burger, but the trust isn't there. And the second burger place is always going to be your second place, but it moved up because now you trust them. I mean, what you thinking?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Don. So right now, in this time of COVID, are we resetting or restarting? What are businesses doing? But the number one thing in order to keep that bottom line moving forward is you want to be business that people know, like, and trust, right? Which is what we're talking about here. So yes, first of all, you have to keep your marketing going. You have to be out there and be knowable. But if you are inconsistent with what you're doing to follow the rules or the laws or the mandates, or if there's question about your quality, right? If they're chintzing here on quality, are they going to be chintzing there on what they're doing for their social distancing guidelines, right? So businesses right now need to be stronger than ever to convey that they are the business to be trusting. They are the business that has not only their employees, but their community and the clients and the customers that they serve at the very top. And at the end of the day, that will rely down to the bottom line, Don. I don't care what business you are. I don't care what industry you're in. That's one of the oldest marketing tricks in the book, is be a business that is trustworthy, right? And right now, in today's world with COVID and with the pandemic, the number one thing that consumers are wanting is, are you a business that is taking this seriously? And can we trust you to have our health and our well-being at the forefront of all this? And Don, let me take that one step further, if I may. This even goes deeper beyond mask, no mask, et cetera. Like, we're not interested in getting into that divide, but really, like, how every customer and client going into any business right now has to be asking themselves, what is this business doing to help support me, support my health, support the community's health, right?
Well, there's three different kinds of customers, okay? You got the ones like me, damn torpedoes, sink the ships, I'm going out. I'm going to go check the place out, and if they wear a mask or not, I could personally care less. Okay, that's my choice. And believe it or not, a third of your customers are just like me. Now, the second third of customers are the ones, dude, so are the masks in place? Are social distance in place? Are you sanitizing? Are you doing everything possible to keep me healthy? And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You are what you are, and if that's what you expect, you're the customer. You're right in that aspect, but you can't be everything to everybody. Because I see some of these restaurants, people go in there for a review. Well, nobody was wearing a mask. Nobody was doing that. Well, again, choices. Now, the third and final set, the ones with all the money, well, a lot of the money, are the older set. And they sit back and think, your older and affluent customers, they sit back and think, okay, so how's this going to shake out? We're going to wait it out for a while and see what happens. And then we'll go with it. So you got three types of customers.
You're exactly right, Don. But another thing that I want to touch on, that actually I just had a conversation about this morning with one of my business coaching clients. In the city of Des Moines, Mayor County mandated masks. I don't know if you saw that in the news, right? So the question became, how does that affect their business, which happens to be located inside the Des Moines city limits? So we had a conversation about it. But one thing that you had touched on that I touched with her on is that perhaps what's most important is that you are giving your customers options. You are letting the decision be made in their court. Now, you're still following the guidelines, right? You're still following the provisions and the recommendations and the requirements. But at the end of the day, it ultimately becomes the decision of their customer, and the choice lies with them. So if a customer wishes to say sit inside, they can sit inside at a restaurant. Sit outside, they can sit outside, right? That's a perfect example of what this looks like. Does that make sense, Don? What's more important is that a business, and Don, tell me your thoughts on this actually, because this is where as a business coach I stand. When I coach my clients, my recommendation is you need to communicate what you're doing and that you're doing everything in your power to keep them safe and to keep them healthy. So that's the first thing is to communicate. But the second thing is I'm not interested in creating divide. I'm just not. There's enough of that in this world, and I don't need to be in a part of it. So my position is, and to the businesses that I coach, is give people options so that they can choose for themselves.
That's perfect, because our topic is about how do we increase our bottom line in today's market and all this weird stuff. And so restaurants are having to depart half capacity, 40% capacity.
Right.
When they were doing 100 covers at lunch, well, now they're not. I mean,
right.
They're getting the people in at lunch. So how are you, what's the word I'm looking for? How are you making it happen in the market? So are you, like, restaurant-wise, are you doing more carry-out? Well, you can't do 100 carry-outs in an hour. So we're talking about lunch. So the early bird special comes back. Just be creative. Then you got the regular lunch crowd. And so instead of lunch being 1 hour, you can make it 3 hours again. So what can you do? And it's not all about raising price, but how can you get people in? Now, another thing, Amanda, I think this is where a perfect topic for you about, all right, I'm making X amount of money right now. I want to get my net up 30%. Well, people think they got to raise everything 30%. To get your net 30%, you do very, very small things.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh gosh, Don, that's so funny that you said that, because I do a workshop for any business owner, and it's a free workshop about this very thing, about how you can move if you move your bottom line of leads this much, right, by 1% or 2%, if you run the numbers of that calculation, then it's going to move your bottom line like sometimes 50, 60%. And the numbers are there. The numbers are prove it. So
people think they got to do these giant things. They got to go all crazy, and I got to get 100 new customers. No, you don't, because your costs are already done. You already know what you're making. So what can you do? One is, increase your customer rate by 10%. So what's that mean? All right, you can jack your prices by 10%. Or if you bring in 100 customers at lunch, what do we got to do to get 110?
Right. Absolutely. No, these are good things, Don. And oftentimes business owners, and this is really where you and I come into play, and I'm not here to sell our services. It's just that oftentimes businesses really get stuck in their own mindset, right? Or they get stuck in this frame of like, I have to think like this, or they just get stuck. They get brain fog, or they get, they get scared, right?
It's a forest trees thing.
Right, exactly. So having somebody that can think outside the box and to recognize, okay, like, let's get creative. We can do this, or this, right? It's not just all this or this. How do we create options, right? And having a good team, whether it's Don with you with ROI and online and social media and those getting internet leads, or if it's somebody like myself with coaching, somebody that's an outsider looking in to help create that creativity, that accountability to make sure that things are progressing, right? And the marketing's getting creative. Because at the end of the day, when you're talking about bottom line, Don, and this goes back to the very beginning where we started, at the end of the day, I will argue till my last breath, the two biggest things that matter is sales and marketing, but also customer service, which comes from trust. Mm-hmm. If you have to have good customer service and good sales and marketing, and if you have nothing else but those two things, your bottom line is always going to be able to be sustainable. So, Don,
to me, it's all about creativity too. If you got to be creative, man, and Americans are great for being creative. That's just what we are.
Oh, for sure.
You overcome obstacles all the time. And so what can you do to be creative to get more business? Well, Amanda, did you know this?
What?
I had some numbers written down, but I can't read my writing, so I won't like really read them. So much for me on that. But no, it's all about resetting. But the thing is, be creative. How do you get customers in? How do you get them to know, like, and And the main word is trust you.
Right.
The thing is, if you're a restaurant, wear the damn mask. Show them that you're cleaning up. Do this. I mean, do what you got to do. If you choose
Right.
not to do it, that's fine. You'll get the top third like me. I don't care. I'll come in. But you won't get the top third and the next third.
Right.
Because it works its way on down. And so be creative. And now you work with a lot of therapists.
Yeah, I work with a lot of service providers. So I have like massage therapists, estheticians, physical therapists, chiropractors, those sorts of things. Yeah, a lot of service providers.
You know, and a lot of times where they have it weird is the state tells you what you got to do.
Right, it's the licensing thing.
Des Moines tells you, well, you got to wear a mask, you got to do this, and it freaks people out again. Personally, I wish they'd stay out of it because it's been proven over the last 5 months, nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. Who knows what's right? And I'm not saying that to be facetious, but they say one thing one day, one thing the next day. It's like being a parent. All right, so Big Brother is telling us to do this, do that, do this, and they change their damn mind every day. Did you see what the CDC says? Yes, no more. I mean,
yeah, but that's getting down a rabbit trail that we really could go on to that we don't need to. So
you gotta work around those type of things and don't wait for it to happen. You gotta make it happen.
Exactly. You have to take action. So, Don, good conversation for today. So, I think the end of the day, guys, what we're talking about here is in order to keep your bottom line with whether you're resetting or restarting with COVID is to keep building that relationship of trust and to keep giving not only yourself options, but your clients options, right? And how do you do that as yourself, as a business owner with sales and marketing? It's by staying creative. So, Don, anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Little changes can increase your bottom line 30, 40, 50%. Just little changes. Secondly, the businesses that are killing it right now are the ones that are advertising. I don't care if it's with me or who else, but they're actually advertising. They're shouting out to the world, we're here, we're open, come enjoy us. And everybody else is creating a scene. And so guess what? The businesses that are advertising and doing what they're supposed to do, within 4 years, they're going to be the top dogs of the game. Period. They're going to be the top dogs. And where do you want to be? You want to be in the middle? That's okay. Nothing wrong with being in the middle. Or do you want to go, and now I'm looking for a job?
The important thing is that you're where you want to be, right? And so that business owners should not let this defeat them. They should not be discouraged, but they should recognize that, it's business. I don't care if you're in a pandemic. I don't care if it's good economic times. The point of it is the rules of business are always the rules of the business. So, Don, that's all I've got for today. So join us next week, guys. And in the meantime, it's all talk until you take action. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Easy. Bye-bye.